Hey guys, now that Thanksgiving is behind us, it is full steam ahead into Christmas. And one of my favorite meals of the season is Christmas morning breakfast. I'm going to show you how to make my signature homemade hot chocolate with gingerbread whipped cream. Then it's two types of baked goods. For something decadent, my insanely good pecan sticky buns. And for something on the lighter side, it's a cranberry walnut bread served with homemade honey butter. For a main course, it's my super simple Caprese frittata served with roasted potatoes, and to finish things off, a refreshing winter citrus salad with cinnamon syrup. If you like the looks of this menu, remember you can now subscribe to my own channel, Entertaining with Beth, where next week I'm going to show you how to make a wonderful first course for holiday entertaining, my delicious oven-baked scallops. A couple of weeks ago, when I was planning this menu, I asked you guys what would you prefer, a make-ahead menu or some homemade pecan sticky buns that had to be made the morning of. And the response was split. It was pretty interesting. There were a lot of likes on the make-ahead menu comment, but there also were a lot of you that wanted the pecan sticky buns. So I had to do both. The sticky buns are just too good not to share. But I also have come up with a make-ahead option, which I'll share with you next if you guys want to go that route. So you're going to start by making your dough. In a large bowl, you're going to combine some flour, some yeast, sugar, and salt. Give that a good whisk, and then you're also going to add the zest of one navel orange and some raisins. Then you're going to add some warm water. You want to make sure the water is at least 110 degrees, but no more than 125. If it's too hot, it's going to actually kill the yeast, and if it's not hot enough, it's not going to get that yeast to activate. Slowly pour the water into your flour mixture, and then start to mix together, and you'll see a dough will begin to form. Then you want to roll it up into a ball, and then take about a tablespoon of melted butter and knead it into the dough about 20 turns, just until the dough is pliable and soft. Then you're going to take another tablespoon of melted butter and put it in a clean bowl. Grease the sides with it just so that all the butter is incorporated on the bowl. You're going to transfer your dough, place it in that bowl, and then cover with plastic wrap. You then want to let this dough rise in a warm place of your kitchen for about an hour. Then it's time to make the sticky sauce for your sticky buns. This is all of that delicious goo that's going to hold these buns together. In a large sauté pan, you're going to melt some butter, some brown sugar, and some orange zest. Once that starts to kind of simmer and bubble, you're then going to add some orange juice and some heavy cream. Whisk that all together and you'll start to see that a delicious caramel sauce will develop. Transfer it into a Pyrex pitcher and set aside. Then you can also mix together your cinnamon sugar. In a bowl, you're going to combine white sugar, brown sugar, and about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Give that a good whisk and then set that aside. Once your dough has risen, you can then turn it out on a floured cutting board. You want to roll it out to about 13 by 15. Then you're going to smear the top of it with some softened butter, sprinkle with your cinnamon sugar, add your raisins and your pecans, and some orange zest. And then roll it up just like a jelly roll. At this point, you could take that jelly roll, wrap it up in some wax paper, and then some tin foil, and refrigerate if you really didn't want to go through this whole process on Christmas morning. They would still be good, but they're not going to be insanely good. And I really want you guys to have insanely good on Christmas morning. They just don't rise as much, and they're just a little bit hard. There's something about a really fresh cinnamon bun on Christmas morning that just can't be beat. So this is a recipe for those who don't mind putting in just a little extra effort on Christmas morning for a big payoff. Cut your jelly roll into 12 equal pieces. Take out a muffin tin and pour about a tablespoon of the sticky sauce in each well, and then about a tablespoon of chopped pecans. Then you're going to take your cut pieces and put them into your muffin tin, cut side up. Pop them in the oven for about 15 minutes. You'll know when they're done when the buns start to puff up, they look golden brown, and the sticky sauce starts to ooze out from the sides. Allow your buns to cool for just about 5 minutes. You don't want to go too far, otherwise that sticky sauce is going to start to really stick and you're not going to be able to get your little buns out of their tins. So you want to take a cooling rack, place it on the top, and then on top of that, you're going to take a rimmed cookie sheet. Then in one fell swoop, you're going to flip them, and then you will see you'll have 12 beautiful buns all lined up on a cooling rack, ready to go. And then the final thing to really send these buns over the top is to take a little bit more of that sticky sauce and pour it over the cooling buns. These sticky buns are the quintessential Christmas morning baked good. They're delicious, they're decadent, they're elegant, and very, very sticky. So for those of you looking for the make ahead option, this is the recipe for you. It's my cranberry walnut orange bread, and it is delicious. The other nice thing about this bread is it's not as sweet as the sticky buns. So if you were looking for something with a little less sugar, this is the thing for you. You're gonna start by combining your dry ingredients. You're gonna take some flour, some baking soda, some salt, brown sugar, and some ground cloves. Then in another bowl, you're going to combine some eggs, the zest of 1 navel orange and its juice, canola oil, and some whole milk. Just give that a good whisk until it's combined. The thing with muffins or quick breads is you never want to overmix them. In fact, it's always better to undermix them. If you overmix it, you're going to end up with a very tough bread. So easy does it on the mixer. Once your batter is all combined, the final step is to mix in a cup of fresh cranberries and some chopped walnuts. You're then going to pour your batter out into 2 loaf pans. So this recipe does make 2 loaves. So what I normally will do is serve one and then freeze the other, because it's a great bread to have on hand for when you have those drop-bys in between Christmas and New Year's and you want to serve something delicious with a coffee. It's great for that. You're then going to bake your breads for about 40 to 50 minutes and definitely check it with a toothpick. Once your bread is completely cooled, you're then going to package them up in some tin foil. So you might put one in the freezer and one in the refrigerator. That way, on Christmas morning, all you have to do is take your little foil wrapped bread and pop it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes just to warm it up. Then the perfect complement to this bread is some homemade honey butter. All you do is take some softened butter and mix it together with about 2 tablespoons of honey. Beat that all up until it's well incorporated, and then transfer to a little ramekin and then pop in the fridge until you're ready to serve. I love this bread because it's beautiful, it's festive, and it has all the quintessential flavors of Christmas. The orange, the cranberries, and the cloves, such great flavor combinations. You serve a big slab of this bread with that homemade honey butter on top, and your family will go nuts. And also, the best part is, it can all be made the night before. How great is that? Now the perfect thing to go with one of these baked goods is some homemade hot chocolate with gingerbread whipped cream. Now I get that Christmas morning is chaotic and to reach for those little instant packets is tempting. I get it. But homemade hot chocolate is so easy to do and it's going to be 10 times better, I promise. So let me show you just how easy it is. First, you're going to start with your gingerbread whipped cream. You're going to whip together some heavy cream, vanilla, a little bit of powdered sugar, some ground ginger, cinnamon, allspice, and cloves. Just whip that all up until stiff peaks form, and then you can set that aside. Then, to make your hot chocolate, you're going to take some whole milk, some half and half, and about 2 tablespoons of milk chocolate chips. Now, if you have little ones around, you may just want to cut that in half. Nobody needs to get too amped up on sugar too early in the day. You're just going to whisk that together until those chocolate chips are melted, and that's it. The hot chocolate is done. How easy was that? You're then going to take your hot chocolate and transfer it into a cup, and then what I like to do is take the gingerbread whipped cream, put it into a pastry bag fitted with a star tip, and then pipe a beautiful mound of that whipped cream. It is Christmas after all, so it's fun to make things decorative. And if you want to be extra fancy, like if your in-laws are in town and you want to make a good impression, you can also garnish with a cinnamon stick. That way you have a nice decorative stirrer that also is going to add a beautiful cinnamon flavor to your hot chocolate. And one of the things that my husband and I will do is to add some coffee to this hot chocolate. That way you end up with a cafe mocha, another festive drink to have on Christmas morning. I love homemade hot chocolate. It's so rich and delicious, and adding that gingerbread cream just makes it so festive and special. The perfect beverage for Christmas morning. I am someone on Christmas morning that needs an egg dish. It is a long day, and if you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about, and we all need our strength. I also love this recipe because it's so easy and has all the beautiful colors of Christmas with the tomatoes and the basil. What you're going to do is in a bowl, you're going to combine a full dozen eggs. I know, it takes a lot of eggs, but it does feed 8 people, so it's not as if everybody's eating 12 eggs. Then you're gonna add a half a cup of heavy cream. Now I love to add the heavy cream into a frittata because it takes it from that sort of eggy frittata to a more custardy frittata. So the consistency is more like a quiche. Then you're gonna add some mozzarella cheese, salt, and pepper. I really love to serve a frittata in a cast iron skillet. And years ago, I almost all but gave up on having a well-seasoned cast iron skillet because you buy them and then you have to rub all this oil on them and you have to bake them and season them and it takes forever and it sort of turned into a big disaster. But recently I just saw that the Lodge brand is now offering pre-seasoned cast iron skillets. So for 19 bucks, I took my chances and let me tell you, it was money well spent. It's pre-seasoned, nothing sticks, it's really fabulous. You're gonna pour in the frittata mixture and let it cook just on a kind of medium flame for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, you're gonna prep your potatoes. I really love to use the red new potatoes just because they're Christmassy because of their skins, and you can leave the skins on, which is another tip for Christmas morning. Keep it simple. Dice those all up, throw them in a bowl, toss with a little olive oil, salt, pepper, and herbes de Provence. You're gonna pop those potatoes in at 400 degrees and get them going. At this point, you wanna slice your cherry tomatoes. Now a tip with the cherry tomatoes is you really wanna slice them on the horizontal, not the vertical. If you slice a cherry tomato on the vertical, then you end up looking at the core, and it's not as pretty. And we want these to be pretty because it's Christmas morning. So slice them horizontally and you'll see it's a much prettier cut. Once that frittata is set, you're then gonna sprinkle with a little bit more mozzarella cheese, then top with your cherry tomatoes and some freshly chopped basil. You're then going to turn your oven down to 375. Put your potatoes on the bottom rack because they've gotten a good start, and then put the frittata on the top rack. You're going to continue to cook both the potatoes and the frittata for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until the potatoes are crispy and the frittata is completely set and golden brown. And you will have a beautiful main dish. Eggs and potatoes, who doesn't love that, especially on Christmas morning? And to have those cherry tomatoes and the basil just makes it so festive and Christmassy. It's a great recipe that's completely easy to do. A lot of the food on this menu has been a little bit rich and a little bit decadent, so there's nothing like a grapefruit salad to kind of balance it all out. And in the month of December, citrus is at its peak, so I love to serve a citrus salad on Christmas morning. The great thing about this salad is that it can all be done the night before, and you can really use whatever citrus you have on hand. I like to use a combination of grapefruit, tangerines, oranges, and clementines, just because then you end up with different sized fruits and different colors, which makes your salad really pretty. So the first step is to create your cinnamon syrup. In a saucepan, you're gonna combine some water, some sugar, and let that dissolve just until you don't see any more sugar crystals. Then you're also gonna add your cinnamon sticks. You're gonna let that simmer just so that the cinnamon has a chance to release all of its flavors. Then you're gonna allow the syrup to cool and set it aside. Then you're gonna take your citrus and cut off both ends, and then working your way around with a knife, you're gonna cut off the peel. Then slice your citrus into rounds and then transfer to a serving bowl. You're then gonna top with the cinnamon syrup, the cinnamon sticks, and some pomegranate seeds. I love that now most grocery stores will sell pomegranate seeds in a nice little container, which saves a ton of time, especially on Christmas morning. But if you can't find that and you're left having to de-seed a pomegranate and you want to know how to do it, just click the thumbnail and we have a great video here on Kin that'll show you how to do it. And then the final step is to add some citrus zest on top. You really can choose whatever fruit you like. Personally, I like the clementine, so I'll take a clementine and just do a little zest on top just to make it pretty. So there you have it, my easy citrus salad. I love this recipe because it's beautiful, it's delicious, and the addition of that cinnamon syrup just adds a really nice unexpected flavor. It's the perfect dish to round out your Christmas morning menu. If you'd like to make this menu for Christmas morning, here's your game plan. The day before, you can make your gingerbread whipped cream, place in an airtight container, and pop in the fridge. You can make the cranberry walnut bread, bake it off, and allow it to cool. Then wrap it tightly in tinfoil and refrigerate. Make the honey butter and also refrigerate. If you're making the sticky buns, you can make the sticky sauce, allow it to cool, and then keep covered and refrigerate. You can also mix your cinnamon sugar and keep covered at room temperature. To prep the frittata, make your egg mixture, add the cheese, cover, and place in the fridge. You can also slice your tomatoes and keep them covered and refrigerate as well. Then you can make your cinnamon syrup, allow it to cool and refrigerate, and then cut all your citrus and store them separately in an airtight container. Then on Christmas morning, wake up and make your sticky buns and bake them off. Then you can start your frittata and prep your potatoes. Then place your citrus in your serving bowl and add your syrup. And then sit down and enjoy a delicious Christmas morning breakfast. If you're looking for a last-minute centerpiece idea, one of the things I love to do is turn to my grocery store. So while I'm shopping for all of these ingredients for Christmas morning, I go to the florist section and buy any little Christmas trees that might still be sticking around. I actually have a real love for those little Charlie Brown Christmas trees. There's something about Christmas trees left on Christmas Eve that just makes me want to snatch them up. I then will wrap the pots in burlap and tie with a little red ribbon. Then I'll take a large bowl and just fill it with citrus, usually oranges or tangerines and clementines, whatever I can find that's bright orange and festive. I then like to turn a few of them into pommiander balls by sticking some cloves in their peel. The easiest way to do that is with a fork. You just take a fork, pierce their skins, and then that will allow for the clove to go right in. Then to tie the whole thing together, I like to add a garland of evergreen. Sometimes if I can't find it at the store, I'll just go to the back of my Christmas tree and snip off a few branches where no one will notice. That actually creates a really beautiful look at the center of your table. And then you can fill in with some little pine cones. So that's it, instant Christmas right on the top of your table. So there you have it, my Christmas morning breakfast, complete with sticky buns and a make-ahead menu. I hope you guys will give this one a try and let me know what you think. And if you're looking for more Christmas morning recipes, you are in luck. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be putting together a multi-channel collab with Laura Vitale on that very theme, Christmas morning treats. I'll see you then.